container queries become baseline widely available tomorrow, August 14, at which point nothing will change. The container queries are as available today as they will be tomorrow, probably. Baseline is this measurement that starts counting when all of the browsers have implemented a feature. So in February of 2023, Firefox was the last browser, only a few months behind the other browsers, to implement container size queries. And that started the clock. And it meant that the feature was baseline newly available. So anybody on a modern browser had the feature, but you had to be upgrading regularly to get it. At 30 months, we just sort of assume that, and it's an educated guess, we're not making a complete assumption out of thin air. We assume that at 30 months, most people are on a browser that has this feature now. And that's pretty cool. But it doesn't change on the day. The feature just is actually slowly becoming more and more available as we work our way towards baseline widely available. So it's this marker that is not an actual change in what's happening. It just sort of says, yeah, we've waited long enough. Don't worry about it anymore. We have container queries everywhere that we want them. The other thing that I noticed around container queries milestone is that we're going to see another milestone next month that's related. And you might not know that it's related. So next month, media query range syntax will become widely available. The range syntax allows us to say, instead of a media query with min width or max width set to a specific number, we can say the width is greater than or equal to 300 pixels, or 300 pixels is greater than the width, which is greater than something else. So we can do these range comparisons, which are pretty cool. And the reason that these are becoming baseline widely available right around the same time is because when browsers were implementing container queries, we had written all of our container query examples in the specification using the range syntax. And so browser engineers came to us and they said, is this important for container queries? And we said, well, container queries work without it, but it sure would be nice. And the engineer said, okay, great. We'll implement that in container queries. And then while we're at it, we might as well implement it in media queries. It had already been specified for media queries prior to that, but nobody had bothered getting around to implementing it in browsers. So when it was implemented in container queries, then it was sort of backported to media queries. And so we see those rolling out at about the same time, which I think is fun. So next month, keep an eye out for range syntax becoming baseline widely available as well. I hope you enjoy this wonderful milestone. If you want to learn more about container queries, we have workshops that we can bring to your company, or I'll be at Smashing Conference in New York later this fall. Hope to see you there.